Good evening, fans, and welcome to episode 2 of Sports Talk with Rags. As here in the month of February, it is time to start college baseball. And tonight we have two former college baseball players with us, Kyle Butler, who played at Radford University from 2015 to 2019, and Kyle McPherson, who played at James Madison University from 2015 to 2017. How are you guys doing tonight?
What's up,
Hey, we're
Rags?
doing pretty good. What's going on, Rags?
Thanks for having us on.
So hey, sure, no problem. Certainly appreciate you guys chiming in here on a weeknight and taking time out in y'all's busy schedule here as we're here in about the middle of February and about ready here to start college baseball. So let's see, Kyle McPherson. Starting off with you, what what brought you? Tell the fans out there what brought you here to enjoy playing the game of baseball at such a high level here. Uh, what started it off?
Yeah, so started off playing T-ball, the Western Branch Rec League, and then when you get a little bit older, all your friends are kind of playing together, and you all get really close. And me and Kyle were on a team, and coach pitched, like it says right there. We were 7 years old, and we kind of got a really tight group of friends there in the Western Branch rec system, and we all played together for a long time, and went up through Pinto. I think we played 1 year Mustang together, and then when we were 9 years old, we kind of branched off and got into AAU baseball, travel baseball, and played with the Tidewater Drillers for a while, which was awesome. Great organization to be a part of. And yep, and then we all went off, and a lot of us ended up playing together in high school together. 8th grade, started JV, and then went up through the varsity ranks together. So
Yes, and
really lucky that
Kyle,
all of our friends kind of played together.
right? Yes, yeah, that was some good baseball there. As both of you guys grew up with my oldest nephew, Colin. Kyle
Mm-hmm.
Butler. Anything to add there in the beginning stages of enjoying the game of baseball at a competitive level here during your childhood and into high school?
Yeah, he hit a lot of it on the head. Started in T-ball, played together in Pinto. We had a really good Pinto team, and before that, it kind of stemmed from my dad playing in college and professional, and I grew up in a baseball family, so we were all always watching baseball and playing catch in the backyard. And then we started a really good travel ball organization team called the Tidewater Drillers. Played all the way through till we were 14, 15, and then we went to JV. We were blessed to, go to Western Branch and, surround ourselves with a good group of guys, good coaches that really developed us into the players we became. But yeah, we got lucky, that we surrounded ourselves with, who we were with, including Kyle. He, helped me become a better baseball player growing up. And yeah, we went on to have some success at the JV and varsity level of high school with winning our first championship, and I'm sure you'll get to that soon. But yeah, it was a great experience, and then helped us to go on to play college and professional, and now working full time jobs in the real world.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And hey, while you guys brought up here at the high school level, I mean, tell us, tell the fans out there about what it was like playing at the highest level there of high school baseball and capping it off there with y'all's senior year in 2014, a record of 26-2 and a state championship. You know, KB, you want to start off with that senior year?
Yeah, it was crazy because it was almost like we were playing college already with I think 8 or 9 commits to different colleges around the country. So just that helps us become better players, and most people don't get to experience that. You hear about maybe 1 or 2 players who want to play college from a high school team, but we had a full blown college team playing high school baseball. And we knew we were good, so that kind of helped with the confidence. And we went into every practice and game knowing that we should win the games. And it was funny because we lost. I think you mentioned we were 26-2, and we lost to the same team twice. Um, but and then we ended up beating them in the I think the conference championship to move on, or the regular season finale. I can't remember. But yeah, it kind of everything fell in place. We stayed pretty consistent the whole year. We didn't go in a rut. We got hot at the right time. We had 2 really good pitchers, which you need in high school, along with a lineup that was solid 1 through 9. And we knew each other. We hung out outside of baseball. We knew what each other liked. We all liked the same types of things. So we meshed really well, not only on the field but off the field and in the classroom. So that all kind of stemmed to winning the championship, and it was a surreal feeling because that was really our first ever real championship. Winning it all, if you want to call it. And it's something that none of us will ever forget. And I believe that winning the championship led to success in college from a lot of our guys. But yeah, it was awesome.
Yes. Yeah, and K-Mac, anything else to add there regarding that senior year? Because I know in y'all's junior year, you guys started off losing 3 times to Grassfield, twice in the regular season and once in the district tournament. And so I know that you guys were definitely on a mission in that senior year there in 2014, and you guys started off with Grassfield. So anything else to add about that senior year there, K-Mac?
Yeah, it's like you said. I mean, we going into that senior year, we expected to win. I mean, that was our goal the whole time. We wanted to win the state championship. I didn't play the whole junior year because I was hurt, so that was kind of unfortunate for me. But I was able to kind of sit back and watch my teammates, and ended up still having a pretty good year. But just coming back, and for me, just being healthy and having all my best friends around, all competing for the same goal was just huge. And being able to go to practice every day, everybody's got the same goal in mind of winning that state championship, and is you're just competing with all your best friends every day, which is awesome, and it's pretty unique. You don't really get the chance to play with guys that you grew up with in college or pro ball, so it's pretty rare to get that opportunity. So being able to do that and compete at a high level was awesome, and we were able to win that state championship, and it was just an awesome experience.
Yes, and so here with February being college baseball month here and high school getting ready to start. Well, this school year it's not going to start till April, but high school baseball, everybody's on a mission regular going into the regular season with being the last team standing, and both of you guys experienced it that senior year. Um, then after high school, let's see. So K-Mac here, we'll start with you. So when did you when did you start to realize about playing the game of baseball at the collegiate level, and something to share to the listeners out there? Because I know that there's going to be listeners out there where maybe they're currently in high school, or their kids are currently in high school. And what was it that made you think to play college baseball?
Yeah, for me, my goal was always trying to reach the next level. So, when I was on the Drillers, my goal was I wanted to make the JV team in 8th grade, and then when I did that, I wanted to try to make the varsity team. And once you're on varsity and you're playing with all these guys, and you kind of realize how that you're in Western Branch baseball program, which is a really good program, and you're going to continue to develop and get better. That's when I'm like, man, college baseball is something that I definitely want to do and keep striving to do that. So I knew pretty early, probably my freshman year, I knew that playing college baseball was definitely a goal that I would have. So I was really fortunate to get the chance to go on and play at JMU for sure.
Right. Yeah. And KB, what was what was when did you um, have the let's see, get the idea and realize that playing baseball at the collegiate level was going to be something that you could reach?
Yeah, it was a lifelong dream, and I was laughing because Kyle's answer was kind of very humble, but everybody knew since he was 9 that he was going to end up playing college and pro ball. He was always better than most of the guys. He just had all the tools, so I think that's funny. He's always been a stud, unlike me that was a late bloomer. But yeah, with my dad, playing college and pro, I kind of, got the scoop before I got into it, and what to expect and what I needed to do. And I always wanted to play college baseball to get that experience and feel that brotherhood, that a lot of people experience. So really, it was, JV and varsity when you get out there and realize how good everybody is, and how much you can develop into the player you can be. Just to test yourself every day and keep grinding. And as I got older, sophomore, junior, senior, I think I didn't commit till my senior summer or the summer before my senior year. But it kind of hits you that when you start getting better, whether it's working with the team, doing showcase, or just working with your friends in the weight room, that you could play at a high level, and you kind of know the level. You try to be realistic with yourself, saying, I want to go to Vanderbilt. That's not realistic for everybody. So I kind of knew where I would fit in, and the mid-major D1 was a good fit for me, and I was able to find a good program that worked, and I had some success at. So yeah, that's my answer to that.
All right. Yeah. And hey, so as we're reaching here, President's Day weekend here in February, and pretty soon all levels of college baseball will be in their regular season, and here we have on the screen, KB played at Radford, and KMAC playing at James Madison. So KMAC, why don't you share what it was like here to play baseball in for JMU, and which is in the Colonial Athletic Association, and talk about being a part of Duke baseball.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I think Kyle can say the same thing. The jump from high school baseball to college is a pretty big jump. So you get there and you're going to be the youngest guy there, and you're kind of looking up to the upperclassmen as these like leaders and these guys that you want to be like one day. And it's definitely a huge jump competition wise. And then there's a lot more responsibility being at college and just living on your own and trying to figure all that stuff out. So it's a big jump, but I had a good group of teammates at the time that kind of paved the way for me to have some success. And yeah, just enjoyed it all the way through. I had a coaching staff change after my freshman year, so that was a little bit different. A lot of people don't deal with an entire coaching staff change in their college career. So the guys that recruited me and the coaches I had my freshman year were different than the coaches that came in for my sophomore and junior year. But it was awesome. Two completely different coaching styles and cultures that those different staffs brought in. But all in all, it was great, and I think the program's just been getting better and better every year since Coach Ike took over in 16. So it was an awesome experience.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. And KB, also there where out there in Radford, Virginia, where it doesn't get warm warm that much, especially in the
Grinding.
early part of the baseball season. But share with your experience there with Radford University and being part of the Big South.
You hit on the head. It's not fun to play there in March at all. It just seems like it doesn't warm up ever. But I think Kyle hit a big point on the head. You can prepare all you want in high school. You can lift the weights and hit extra and all that good stuff. It's all good. But, I would say most people are not ready for that jump just with the maturity level. What it takes. You're basically going from being spoon fed from your parents to living on your own and having to make decisions, big time decisions for yourself. And I think that's what kind of slowed me down at first. But once I realized, you got to make good decisions, you got to sacrifice things, all that good stuff. That's when you really, hit your potential and become, the best player you can be. But yeah, I was fortunate enough my first year to be on a 45 win team in the regular season. So obviously that says it, there's a lot of leadership on the team. There were some really good players, guys that are playing in the major leagues now. So they kind of took me under the wing. Sometimes they gave me more constructive criticism than I wanted, but that's a good thing, and it helped me, for years to come. And I still keep in contact with a lot of those guys. And then moving forward from there, we were on the younger side. My redshirt freshman, sophomore year, and even junior year a little bit, but we matured fast and got better, and we got hot at the right time in 2017 and got to play in a regional, which was cool. But really, the facilities we got to, use, the coaching staff, the players they brought, everything was first class about Radford athletics, and it really made you prepare, for after college in the real world, and even for guys that are playing now, they just seems like they have an edge over everybody. There was just like some certain attitude there that really, put everybody wanting to be number one, no matter what sport it was. So that's what I liked about it. And, it wasn't, we were full bore all the time. We were practicing on weekends. We were 6 a.m. It was, really prepared you for the season and the hardships that you encounter during the season, whether it's a bad hitting streak or, a few losses in a row, that's what they kind of did to prepare us in the off season, which I loved about it. But yeah, first class school, first class athletic program. And, I really enjoyed my experience there.
Right, and with both of you guys playing at the collegiate level, I mean, even in the fall, you guys have inter squad practice, and then there's no break in the winter because then you're working out, getting ready for spring, and so any let's see, K-Mac, you want to talk about like a off season grind there at the collegiate level, or even in the summer, what you
Grind
do
never
to get
stops.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's definitely an all year round gig. I mean, you're always trying to get better and find ways to get better. And that's the big thing about college is you have a huge workload. I mean, you've got for most of the year you're going to have 6 a.m. either lift or conditioning, and then you got classes throughout the day, and then you got practice in the evening, and then you got a lot of guys have study hall at night. So it's a big workload. So some guys can't really make that adjustment early on, and they struggle with it a little bit, and then some guys do well and they make the adjustment. But yeah, for me, the off season was definitely the time to gain some strength, to get in the weight room. I've always been kind of scrawny and not that strong, so getting in the weight room and trying to put some size on before the spring came was always my biggest goal with that. And just making sure my swing felt right and my arm was in good shape, and just preparing for the spring, mentally getting ready for the spring grind that the spring brings along. But yeah, that's the biggest thing about college is the workload is crazy. The school workload, and then staying in shape, and then doing your baseball stuff all the time. Um, that's the biggest thing for me.
And then KB, you want to you know tell the listeners out there about some of the summer leagues there. Share your experience there at the
Yeah,
collegiate level.
yeah, I was actually going to bring that up. For me, I think one of the most important things in your development in college is playing summer ball, whether it's in a not so good league or the best league in the country, because that's really where you really test yourself. Because to be honest, after a long season, nobody really wants to go play summer ball. They'd rather go home and sit on the couch all day and sleep in all day. But that's the best thing that ever happened to me and really put me over the edge, when I got a little bit older in college, playing in high level summer leagues like the Coastal Plain League 2 years. Just the competition level every single night. I mean, you have to be on your game or you're going to look silly. And kind
Yep.
of getting in a routine to where you can't let yourself take an off day because that you won't do well going into the game, whether it's not getting enough sleep. Everybody, that seems to be the trouble with college and young adults is the sleep. Anybody can get up at 6 a.m. and go to practice and do an inter squad, but it's what happens after the practice and when you're done with the coaches and all your teammates, what you do to recover to get ready for the next day, because it happens all over again and more intense than the last day a lot of times. So, you know, definitely playing summer ball, whether it's a local league or a league that you've always dreamed about playing in. I recommend it, even if you're not 100% and you're tired. Get through the grind, and that will make you better going into the fall of your next year, and you'll most likely be ahead of a lot of your teammates. When it comes to the
Yep.
timing and rhythm and inter squad aspect of it, you'll be ahead in that to start early. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, it's just about getting the at bats too. Like in summer, you're playing every night, so you're just getting so many more at bats than even what I got during the college season. Because college,
Yep.
you're playing 2 weekday games and a weekend series, and summer ball, you're playing every night. You're getting 4 or 5 at bats every night. So it's just seeing those pitches and kind of learning yourself as a hitter and formulating your game plan, knowing your strengths and weaknesses. And like you said, when you go into the fall, you're going to be ahead of a lot of your teammates that maybe they took the summer off because they wanted to hang out with their friends at home or whatever it is.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you were out there and becoming a better player, so that was huge for me too.
Right.
Yeah, and
Hey,
a lot of the coaches, sorry, real quick, a lot of the
oh no.
coaches, they're good. They were former college coaches or they're current college coaches, trying to make some extra money or want to help some players out. So they can give you a lot of tips, maybe say something that didn't click before that will click now. I had a guy do that when I played for, the Wilson Tobs. It's just one little saying that, fixed my whole next season, really, in my opinion. So you never know what kind of teachings you're going to get and the knowledge that will be thrown out there. So yeah, that's another thing. And Kyle said at bats, that's really the number one thing. Keeping your timing. That's the key of hitting. If you can have your timing on most of all the time, you will be a great player, especially a great hitter.
Yeah, for
All
me,
right.
that summer with the pilots, like right before my junior year, like one thing clicked like 2 weeks into the season, and I was kind of messing with my leg kick, like, and you play every single night, so you can kind of see what works and what doesn't, and just getting those at bats and just figuring out, man, this feels good, and getting a lot of at bats during the game the whole summer was huge, and then I was able to carry that on into the spring, so or the fall and in the spring.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, and here with wrapping wrapping it up. Tell the KB. We'll start with you. Tell the listeners out there what was after college baseball and what you're doing today.
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to the summer after my senior year, I did get to play a season of pro ball in New Mexico. It's called independent ball. It's kind of the guys that were on the edge that didn't get picked up from a certain team that thought they still had a chance. And there's a bunch of leagues around the country, that pay players and they treat it like a real, professional league. So that was a great experience. That was a grind. I wasn't in the best budgeted league, so I got to experience a lot of the lower end hotels on the road, which is a good experience. But it taught me a lot of lessons. There's you, knowing that coming from being spoiled in college to kind of taking a step down and realizing, I still had a long way to go. It kind of helped me, not so much baseball wise, but mentally. I had kind of a different mindset that I did in college, and it was able to allow me to grind through it and, have different thoughts than I did in college and be more mature about, games and at bats and how I approach things. And then, after that, I got a full time job back where I'm from, and I believe that playing in college and a year of pro ball and really helped me, in the business world. And I think it will help me in every aspect of life until, I retire one day. So, I would definitely, recommend, guys that are on the fence about wanting to play. It's not all about just the baseball. It's about the brotherhood, everybody you meet, the lessons you learn, and how you mature so much more quickly than a lot of the guys that don't play. So if you're on the fence, you'll regret it if you don't give it a try. It was, the best 4 or 5 years of my life, and even before that in high school. But yeah, that's kind of where my career was, and now I'm a full time business guy, and trying to help the business world in any way I can. But yep, that's me.
All right. K-Mac, what was after playing for the Dukes and what you're doing today?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to get picked up after my junior year by the Giants, and spent 3 years in the Giants organization. Played 17 in the Arizona League, which is the rookie ball team. Played 18 in Salem Kaiser with the short A team there, and then played 19 in San Jose, California, which is the high A team. And yeah, it's another big jump going from college to professional baseball. Like Kyle said, it's almost in a sense like you're going backwards because you're not staying at the best hotels. There's some of the affiliates don't have the best funding, so it's kind of a reality check sometimes. And then you're playing with guys that are just so talented, and you're kind of looking around. And for me, I was like, man, I don't even belong here. Like these guys are complete studs, and I'm over here like, man, like I don't know how I'm here, but I'm just soaking it all in and competing every day. But no, that was an incredible experience just being able to play with them. Was able to practice with some big league guys, and big league guys will rehab and come down and play with us sometimes, and just being able to hang around them and kind of look at their work ethic and look at how they went about their business every day was awesome. And probably the biggest thing I learned in pro ball was the ability to handle failure, playing every single night. And for me, just looking at the guys that were older and had been in pro ball for a long time, you just couldn't see like if they were 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts or if they were 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and a home run. Like they carried themselves like professionals every single day and everything that they did. They were great teammates all the time. And it made a huge impact on me. And I wish I would have learned it earlier because, you can ask Kyle, when I was in high school and at JMU, I was a hothead. Like I expected to go for 4 every day. But in pro ball, it's kind of a wake up call because you're not going to find that success. When guys are throwing, 95-mile-an-hour sinkers and can spot changeups wherever they want every single night. You're not going to have the same success. So it's about making adjustments and being able to brush off bad at bats and mistakes you make and kind of refocus and go on to the next thing. So that's what I did for 3 years. Ended up getting released this past March in spring training 2020, and went back to college and finished my degree because I'd gotten released after my junior year, or I'd gotten signed after my junior year. So I went back and finished off my degree and graduated in December. And recently took a job at Enterprise Holdings this past week. So I'll be doing that. And then for the future, I've got some other things planned, maybe the military, not sure yet. Still think about that. So yeah, just lessons I've learned throughout my baseball career, like Kyle said, they've been huge, and they kind of shape who you are as a person. They shape your work ethic. And for any youngsters out there that are trying to play baseball or go through the whole process is definitely worth it. And you're going to grow and mature, like Kyle said, at a faster rate than your peers because you just learn so much from the game.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for both of y'all's time, and enjoyed talking baseball with you. And let's see, I'd like to thank junior high buddy of mine, Mike Sharp, that gave me the access here to StreamYard.com and do these podcasts. So appreciate his support, and KB and KMac appreciate y'all's time. And let's see. I know we got college baseball here starting next weekend. And let's see, anything else here to wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm expecting big things from this podcast for the future. Big
All
things.
right. Hey, appreciate the support, and this is Sports Talk with Rags, episode 2, and for everybody that's out there, appreciate the episode 2 here with talking some baseball here from 2 former collegiate baseball players, and that played at the professional level and now in the business world. So good night.
Yeah, thanks, Rags. Appreciate it.
Yep.